Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Rebecca with Learning Together by Grace, and in today's video I am going to have a sit down chit chat with you guys about homemaking and some of the hardships, the struggles, the frustrations about homemaking. Are you guys ready? Let's go. So first and foremost, I just want to lay it out there and let you all know what I personally believe about homemaking. I believe that it is very important work. And the way that I've always viewed it is that homemaking is for the stay-at-home mom, the stay-at-home wife, as well as the working mom and the working wife. I don't like to separate homemaking based off of if you're at home or if you are out in the workforce working, because we all have a role in making our house a home, and it is a ministry. And so I've been on both ends of the spectrum, one where I was either a full-time student and raising my children or working full-time, and then even at one point I was working full-time and going to school full-time right alongside my husband, working and going to school full-time. So I've been in that role, and I've also now am in the role where I am staying at home full-time and I'm homeschooling full-time. And there was a point in my life where I stayed at home, my children went to public school, and also a point in my life when I was just a stay-at-home wife where I wasn't working or had children, and it was just my husband and I. So I have a broad view on homemaking, and I never like to delineate between a homemaker strictly staying at home and that is it. That is not my MO, and unfortunately, you know, a lot of times that can be a delineation. And so anyway, I want to encourage you today. So there are many days and sometimes weeks and sometimes even months where my homemaking does fall to the wayside. And sometimes I have a hard time getting myself back on track and getting the motivation or the inspiration to continue. I go through seasons where I ebb and flow, where I go through seasons where I'm doing really well, I'm on top of everything, I feel organized, I feel like my children are doing well in school, I feel like my husband is happy, and then I go through seasons where I feel like all of it is just crumbling right before my eyes. So yes, I've gone through them all. I think right now, the season that I am in, we are towards the tail end of our homeschool journey as we speak, and we have 3 more weeks of homeschool before we take the summer off. And so things are beginning to finally slow down because my kids have done all of their theater, they've done all of their soccer, my daughter's done her gymnastics competition, and we're done with our co-op for the semester, and we are looking forward to the summer and just getting back to a place of not being busy. And with these 3 weeks left, I've just been doing a lot of reflecting. And that is the state that I am in now with my homemaking. And so I've allowed things to fall by the wayside. My kitchen hasn't been as orderly as I would like it to be. And for me, I love cooking. A lot of what I do on this channel is me cooking some kind of meal. And I like to cook things from scratch a lot of times. So that does require a kitchen that is fully stocked, pantry that's fully stocked and is ready to go, is functioning, doesn't have chaos and clutter. I like to wake up in the morning to a nice, clean, sparkling kitchen. That's my thing. But as of late, it has not been that way because of the busyness of our life. And so it's been a little rough for me. And when my kitchen isn't in working order, I have a tendency to not really prepare as well as I should to create the meals that I want to create for my family. And then another thing, and usually this is the first thing that goes, it's our laundry. Yes, the laundry, y'all. And so I try to make a habit of doing one load of laundry a day. And we have not been doing that. Therefore, my laundry has been overflowing most days. We've gotten it down over the weekend, but I honestly like to see the baskets empty. Like, can we just keep them empty? But of course that doesn't happen. And so we have loads of clothes that we need to fold. There's still some clothes in our hampers, clothes in some of the bedrooms that need to go to the hamper and be cleaned, towels that need to be folded, I mean, all of those things. And so that's usually the first thing that goes, because I'm like, well, we still have clothes that can keep us for the next 2 weeks. So if I don't get around to washing, then we'll be okay. As long as I wash our towels so that we can take a bath and we can keep ourselves clean. That's usually the thing. I'll definitely try to put a load of towels in the laundry, because that's something that we do go through regularly and that we need to constantly replenish with clean wash linen. And so that's usually the first thing that goes. And then next is usually my bathrooms, and then it's the bedrooms. And so for me, I really like to try to get myself back on track by first getting my bedroom in order. I make my bed. Most mornings I do a really good job at doing that. On the mornings when my husband doesn't work, it can be a little more challenging because I have the tendency to get up before he does, or sometimes even, I don't know why, when he's home, sometimes I find myself sleeping later than he does. And that's, it's just a funny thing that happens when he's home. I think because he's home, I'm comfortable, I'm cozy next to him. Whereas when he has to go to work, he gets up at 4 in the morning to make his way out the door by 5. So, sometimes I find myself still in the bed with him, and even him getting up before I do. But especially on the days when he's gone, one of the first things that I do after I do my devotional time with God is I make up my bed. So that's one of the ways that I get myself on track, and it makes me feel like I've accomplished something for the day. And then the next thing that I'll move on to is just putting a load of clothes, towels, whatever, in the laundry. At least I can get that started, and then I can do my workout, and then I can get myself together. I can wake up my children so that they can begin their homeschooling for the day as I'm cooking breakfast and all of those things. And those are usually the 2 things that kind of get me back on track. Now, there are some occasions where that doesn't even seem to work, and I find myself just not having any motivation or desire to do homemaking at all. And I've come to find that that is okay, because as we go through life, we may be experiencing highs and lows. And sometimes when we have high moments, we're so into that moment that we are not focused on what needs to be done around the house. Like with my children doing their theater production, it was such an exciting weekend. My focus was not on trying to take care of my house. My focus was seeing my children in their 4 shows and watching them shine. And then on those low moments, there's low moments sometimes where maybe I'm not feeling well, maybe I am kind of feeling maybe a little displaced as a homemaker, because I may not always have the opportunity to be around other adults. And sometimes that can leave me in a place of feeling displaced, and the motivation for taking care of my home can go by the wayside. And when those moments come, I have to figure out my why. And not figure it out because I know my why, but I have to remember my why. And getting back to my why, this is something that my husband and I really know that the Lord has called me to in this season of my life. Yes, I have my degrees. Yes, I have taught before. However, this is where God has me placed right now in my life. And so, remembering my why, remembering that everything that I do is unto the Lord, then it helps me to get back to that place of making my house a home again. Remembering that, okay, when my children leave home, I want them to have a good memory. I want them to have the good smells. I want them to have the good feel, the good environment, the creative environment in their mindsets so that they will always want to come back home. I want them to always want to come back home. And I also want to make my home a place for others to come and feel reprieved, a place where they feel rested, they feel at peace, a place where they feel like they can come in, take off their shoes, grab a blanket, get on my couch and fall asleep. So that's the type of home that I am trying to curate. And I want a place of healing for people. And even when it comes to my husband, myself, and my children, I want this to be a place of healing. I want this to be a place of being able to lay all of the burdens down at Jesus's feet and just be at rest and know that everything will be okay. And so I encourage you to find your why if you have not. And if you do have your why, I encourage you to remember and to take a moment and reflect on that so that you can get back to the place of housekeeping. And so my spark is being, it's already ignited. It never went out. It just got a little dim, but it's starting to rev back up, and my spark for homemaking is becoming more vigorous. And so I'm excited to start decorating this house. We've been here since November 31st. We did a part of the kitchen with my cabinetry renovations, or updates, if you will. We started working on some of the ceilings, and so we are gonna have to shift to our bathroom, the main bathroom, here shortly, and we're gonna have to change out the toilets. We're gonna have to change the tile out there in the main bathroom, and honestly, we probably are gonna have to change out the tub and the tile that's on the tub, and we have some renovating to do. And so I'm getting excited about being able to do those things for my house. And then also I told my husband, I said, in the meantime, the one thing that I do want to do for this house to brighten it up, I want to paint the walls like a really bright color. Maybe I shouldn't say bright, but I want to bring in like some kind of white color, not stark white, but maybe like an eggshell white or something of that nature, and brighten up the space, because the colors that are here currently, I feel like these were the colors that were popular like in the very early 2000s, and I loved those colors back then, but now that is just not for me. Like, my brain needs brightness. And so I want to do some cosmetic things for our house in the meantime, as we wait to get our bathroom updated, so that, you know, I can just feel more free, more creative, and it's not so dark here. And one of the things is that we have this big sycamore tree that is in our backyard, and that sycamore tree, it like brings so much shade, which is good for keeping the house cool, but it doesn't allow a whole lot of natural light in. With the exception of our den, we have this big window in our den that allows so much natural light to come into that area. But when I'm in the kitchen, or when I'm in the dining room, or when I'm in my sunroom, and even in our sunroom, it's just, in the living room area, it's so dark in that area. And I congregate there more than I do in my den or even in my bedroom. So those are some things I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna start actually hanging things up on the wall to decorate it, to just make it feel more homey. And so those are things that I'm going to do for myself, but you have to find your why, you have to remember your why, and then you have to start just making little tweaks to your life to bring some brightness and some airiness to it and bring a place of creativity. That is all for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's not a normal cooking video or no garden update, but I have those in the making. I have, like I said, we've been so busy that editing has been a challenge for me. I've been emotionally, mentally, and physically just drained, so it hasn't been as easy. But videos like this where I'm sitting down, I'm talking, or even where I'm doing a live, these are easier to put out as opposed to me doing step-by-step videos. But I am not far from those. I have a few videos that I have already recorded. It's just a matter of me being able to sit down, take the time to edit them. But if you have not already, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you know when I post a new video. You guys share. I always encourage you to share so that people know what we're doing over here. I am trying so hard to hit 1,000 subscribers. The last I checked, I think 2 days ago, maybe it was yesterday, I had 710 subscribers. So I need 290 more to get to 1,000 subscribers. So you guys share, let people know what we're doing over here. And I hope that you have a blessed one. Take care. Bye.